Good morning, dear students. As you can see, we are going to read the poem A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. Now, although you have read this poem earlier, back in the month of April or May, maybe, but I think I did not teach you, so I will take up this poem today. You all know that what is the feeling of a person or an animal when it is captured. How does it behave inside a cage? It shows its anger, it shows its helplessness. So, in this poem, you will see the contrast or the difference of the attitude of the tiger if it is left in the forest or in the cage. So, the helplessness or the sadness of the animal is obvious, it can be seen. How it tries to snatch away the things, how it kicks at the walls, at the bars, and so on. So, the poet wants to say that the animals should be allowed to stay in their natural habitat. Now, please keep watching the video. We'll read about the poem. Now, let us know about the poet before we read the poem. George Leslie Norris, he was a prize-winning Welsh poet and a short story writer. Now, Welsh poet means belonging to UK, that is Wales in UK. So he belonged to Wales, and the people belonging to Wales are known as Welsh. So he was a Welsh poet and a short story writer. He is considered as the most important Welsh writers of the post-war period, and his literary works have won many prizes. His famous works are Finding Gold, The Loudwinder, Phoenix, Living Poet series, Ransoms, etc. The poem written by Leslie Norris explains the agony and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in a zoo. Agony means pain. Helplessness. Why is it helpless? Because it is caged. It is not given the freedom. And the tiger that is supposed to live in the forest and enjoy its freedom, that is not given to it, and it is captivated in a cage in a zoo. The poet explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. So you also can imagine, children, that what is the difference between a tiger in the zoo and a tiger in the forest. Can you imagine what would be the condition, or what would be the attitude and behavior? Yes, the tiger in the forest would be able to run freely and catch its prey, have full confidence, whereas in the zoo, in the cage, it is helpless, it is feeling the pain, it is so sad that it does not even feel like eating anything, or it does not even look at the visitors that come to him. The poet has tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings for their own fun. Now, A Tiger in the Zoo, the summary of the poem. The poem begins with a description of a tiger that is very beautiful and is walking in his little cage. Now, though it is a ferocious animal, everybody is afraid of a tiger, but the God has created tiger with all its beauty. The tiger seems to be very beautiful to the poet because it has got a striped skin and a very vibrant colors, yellow and black. So these the God's creation, that is the tiger, which is God's creation, is so beautiful, but it is helpless in the hands of human beings. And when it is caged, is walking in his little cage, shows that his living area has been constricted, that is, he has been restricted to a small cage, whereas he had the whole forest at his go. He could have run to any corner in the forest land, but now here it is a very small place to move in. He He has beautiful stripes on his skin and has velvet like soft paws. But the tiger is not happy and is quite angry about being confined in the cage. The poet says that if the tiger was not confined to the zoo cage, he would have been hiding himself behind the long grass near some water body in order to catch its prey, that is, the deer. Also, he would have terrorized the residents of the villages around the forest area. But the reality is totally opposite to this. He was confined in a cage which was made up of strong building material and he was helpless there. He could not show his power to the visitors, therefore, never tried to terrorize them. The tiger is described as being powerless and agonized by the poet. He says that during night also he is alone, hearing the sound or the voice of the patrolling vehicles of police and looking at the stars. The cage life has totally changed the tiger's personality. The poet is trying to say that the animal which is famous for its fearlessness and freedom is confined and sad due to human beings who want to derive pleasure by looking at him in the zoo cage. Now look at the stanzas of the poem. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet, in his quiet rage. Stalks means follows, that is, walks. He walks very slowly inside the cage in his vivid stripes. Vivid means bright colored stripes. The few steps of his cage. Few steps. See the observation of the poet. He says it is able to walk only few steps because he is in a very small cage. So, in contrast to the huge forests, he has a very small place to walk. It can't even run. So, the few steps of his cage. And due to this helplessness, due to this restriction on his movement, what is his its feelings? His feeling is that he is angry, rage. Look at the word rage. Rage means anger. He is angry, but he cannot show his anger. He is so helpless. He is quietly moving on pads of velvet quiet. He is moving on the pads of velvet quiet. Pads are the paws of a tiger. You know that the paws of the tiger are padded, in Hindi what do you call it as गद्देदार पैर होते हैं उनके नीचे पैरों के बॉटम में in the at the bottom of their paws it is very smooth and soft, okay, and that is it's compared to velvet, as soft as velvet, and it is also quiet. The poet says that the movement, the paws also are not making that much of noise because they are very soft below that is the bottom is very soft, and when it moves it is not making any sound, okay. So that quiet, that is, it's moving. First of all, it is moving in very slow steps. Secondly, it has pads, that is, his paws are padded, that is, they are very soft, and his anger is also controlled there. He wants to show his anger, but it cannot, okay. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. So in these lines, or in this stanza, the poet is focusing on the life of a tiger in the forest, what it would be doing if it was free and not in the cage. Should be. Look at the word should be. The poet says that the tiger should be, or would be catching its prey by hiding behind the long grass and sliding and moving very slowly. Lurking means hiding. And moving slowly towards what? Towards the water body where the plump means fat deer would pass or would come to drink water. So this is how is the life of a tiger in the forest, which is just a contrast or absolutely different from the life of the tiger in the cage. In the cage, the tiger is feeling sad and depressed. Would be snarling round houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Now, in these lines of the third stanza, the poet says that the tiger is free when it is in the zoo. It cannot have that freedom which it has if it is in the forest. In the forest or nearby the forest areas, that is at the jungle's edge, that is the surrounding villages near the jungle, there it can show its power. It makes a snarling sound, and snarling is warning sound, the fearful sound that it makes, okay, the roaring sound that the tiger makes. So the poet feels that if it had been free, it should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge. So the villagers who stayed just around the jungle, they would be terrorized by these tigers, and baring his white fangs. Baring means to leave it open, okay, and white fangs means the teeth of the jaws of the tiger, and his claws. So how he would terrorize the village people? By showing his jaws and his claws, okay. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Now in these lines, the poet has said that all the power and the strength of the tiger is locked when it is captivated in a cage or in a concrete cell. Concrete cell, that is a prison made with the help of the concrete and the bricks, that is in the wall itself. All the sides it has wall except the front side. So it is like a prison for it. Is his strength behind bars, that is all his power is locked, it is behind the bars. Bars means the front portion of the prison or the cage, which is made with the help of bars. Stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Now it cannot frighten the people now, it cannot chase the animals now, it cannot do anything. It is very, very helpless. So what is it doing? Stalking. Stalking means walking up and down slowly the length of his cage. Length of his cage means that restricted area in this cage. As long as big as the cage or the cage length of the cage is, it can move only up to that much. Ignoring visitors, that is, it does not look at the people whether they are enjoying or having fun looking at it, okay. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Now who is he in this poem? He refers to the tiger, and the poet says that the tiger is not free even at night. So day and night it has to spend inside his time in the cage itself. And in the daytime, which voices did it hear? He heard the voices of the people, the visitors, who used to make the sounds of laughter, amazement and excitement to see the tiger inside the cage. And at night he could hear only one last voice, and that was the voice of the patrolling cars. That is the sound of the patrolling means guarding, okay, taking rounds and guarding the zoo. So at night only one voice it could hear, and that was the sound of the patrolling cars or the authorities who guarded the zoo. And stares with his brilliant eyes and at the brilliant stars. Now the poet has used the word stares. What can it do? It cannot do anything. The poet says that the tiger seems to be helpless. So, what does it do? It just stares at the brilliant stars and with his brilliant eyes. Now, you all remember that the eyes of the tiger are the only thing in the night time which you can see, which is very brilliant and very bright. You can just see the eyes, and they shine so bright that anyone can spot it in the even night time. So at the brilliant stars, that just the poet has compared the eyes of the tiger to the to the brilliant stars, that is shining stars. Now look at the central idea of the poem. He compares the life of a tiger in the zoo with its life in its natural habitat. The poet conveys an important message that the wild animals should be in their natural habitat. In the poem, he heightens the contrast between freedom and captivity.